Top expert COVID vaccine trials were rigged.
No way.
A leading expert has spoken out to warn the public about COVID mRNA shots after discovering that the medical trials for the vaccines were rigged to make the injections appear safe and effective.
All right, now hang on.
Yeah.
If they can prove that in court, then all of this blanket immunity is going to go right out the window.
It has to. Fraud vitiates everything.
Yes.
That is an actual legal clause that has been used many, many times.
It's a precedent.
It's not just a precedent, it's a statement of I forget. It belongs to common law.
Yes.
And it is basically a hard and fast rule.
Yep.
If you enter into a contract knowing perfectly well that you have lied, that contract is immediately null and void.
Yes. So there you go.
You might want to read the Constitution in the light of that statement, by the way.
The bombshell was revealed by Raphael Lataster, PhD, a renowned researcher and former pharmacist affiliated with the University of Sydney, Australia. Speaking of which, the head of Pfizer, I forget his name, lumpy little fellow, running this multi-billion-dollar pharmacy industry. You know what he was? He was a vet.
Oh, really?
From Thessaloniki, Greece.
Huh.
He's a veterinarian. Lataster summarized 4 studies suggesting that the promise of safe and effective immunizations was exaggerated in clinical trials and observational studies. He outlined his arguments on Substack. It's a great place to find stuff. All sorts of stuff comes out on there and makes people panic. It's great. Basing his conclusions on 4 papers. A March 2023 paper by Peter Doshi describing the case counting window bias and its possible effects. Make sure this link goes into the chat, please, Jimmy, because those papers are there for people to read if they want to. Lataster's 2023 response to Doshi's paper, including the same type of bias affected safety reporting. 2023 response by Doshi explaining how the case counting window biases were used to game the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine clinical trials. And Lataster's own January 2024 paper, which discussed the rampant biases in the trials in light of the more recent data on myocarditis, a now recognized side effect of the shots. Yes, people's hearts just failing at random, because that's normal. That is myocarditis, and they were blaming it on everything. Youngsters not getting it.
They blamed it on marijuana.
They blamed it on white men exercising too much together.
Get the hell out of here.
There was literally an article in the Daily Mail. White men exercising too much causes them to have myocarditis.
But this is a symptom of all of our media being owned by 6 corporations who are doing nothing but lying to us.
Yes.
And this time, it costs people their fucking lives.
Yes, we should want people at the end of ropes after a trial.
Yes. There we go.
And a conviction.
Well, we're not
after
trial
and a conviction.
A trial and conviction. Let's just keep it like that. There's no mob justice. It's all good. I got it.
Face the wall, please. 3 types of bias may have contributed to the vaccine's initial stellar reviews: background infection rate bias, age bias, and case counting window bias. Okay, I am not a medical clinician or anything like that, so I'm going to have to rely on the article to explain what these things are. Background infection rate bias arises when study groups have inherently different exposure levels. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. If you get a bunch of groups and they're all exposed at different rates to different things,
you're going to get different variables.
Skewed results. That's okay. That's pretty standard. An extreme example of this would be a study of infections that compare people who were strictly isolated in their homes early on in the pandemic to doctors who saw multiple patients per day during the same period. Okay.
And you want to know some countries that really didn't see a bunch of COVID deaths? They're mainly in Africa. They didn't participate. They're like, nah, you can keep your shit. We're good.
They didn't see any that I know of.
No.
Well, that and, ivermectin is used to treat malaria. And what diseases are pretty rampant in those areas?
Yes. Malaria is we had to take malaria pills.
Yeah.
Did you have to take them when you went to Africa?
I love the nightmares.
Yeah.
They were great.
What was that shit?
What's it? Chloroquine. And then they put me on an antibiotic because I was having a lot of bad effects from it.
We were gearing up. We were in Italy at 173rd's little airstrip there. And I can never remember if that's Sigonella, or I think Sigonella is the naval base. I can't remember the name of the place.
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. We're gearing up, and as we're packing all of our shit, the medics come through. Here, take these, and we're like, all right. We didn't think anything of it. It's a handful of pills. Here, take these.
Yep.
Antibiotics and anti-malaria shit.
Yep.
Based on how most studies calculate vaccine effectiveness, Lataster estimates that even a dummy shot can be made to appear 67% effective. In this study, Doshi also mentions the age-related biases and difficulties in eliminating those. Age is perhaps the most influential risk factor in medicine, affecting nearly every health outcome. We know this to be true.
Yeah. Listen.
Infants and old people are always the most vulnerable. And then you've got all of the factors in between.
Yep.
With your average 20-year-old being basically the healthy baseline.
Yeah. The mule.
Yeah.
Yeah. The healthy mule. You just can't kill. 20 to 30.
I miss those days.
So do I.
I miss those days a lot. Okay. The task is easier in theory than in practice. In early 2021, when vaccine uptake was robust but limited to the elderly, vaccinated people as a group were much older than the unvaccinated. At that time, they were experiencing just half of the younger generation's infection rate. I think that's wrong. Due to this imbalance, the vaccines appeared more effective at spreading the infection than they were. Again, on this basis alone, Doshi calculated the presumed effectiveness of a dummy shot at 51%.
All right, so hang on here. So basically, this whole article here is just telling you how they deceived and lied to everyone.
They just manipulated statistics.
They're manipulating the numbers around to get their, test serum into as many arms as they possibly could. All right, now I've been hearing rumblings of sterilization. I've been hearing rumblings of neurological issues.
Yes.
I've
Palsy, seizures.
I've had rumblings, about all of like Parkinson's, dementia, all kinds of crazy stuff. I think I'm suffering from a long COVID kind of thing that I've been wrestling with for about 2 years now.
Okay, so this guy spent 33 years in the military, was in 3 different wars, God knows how many places, exposed to who knows the fuck what.
I know.
And he thinks he got the Coof in 2020.
2022.
Okay, I'm going to explain this to you the hard way. You've been exposed to literally everything there is out there. Okay. You're lucky you haven't had a limb just rot off at random.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, how many places in the world have you been? I'm thinking the list is shorter of places.
All over North. I've been all over North and South America, Northern Africa, Europe, and that's about it.
You never really did Asia.
No, I never went to Asia, so I kind of bummed out I didn't go there. I heard some really good stories from back in the day, but I'm good now. I'm retired.
You'll be fine.
Yeah. I don't need that.
I am here to tell you that those stories, while funny, aren't necessary adventures.
No, they are not.
They are not necessary adventures.
That's young dumbassery. I'm old.
Yes.
I have retired my dumbassery for the time being.
Yeah, I'm thinking you're probably not going to play Find the Midget.
No. Oh my God.
That and we all know Pop prefers the full German to the Mama San. So
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Find the Midget was a real thing, Jimmy.
Yes.
I'll tell you sometime later.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.